needs to sound less British. The American accent is pronounced in the jaw and throat, using less of the facial muscles than British speakers. This difference grows quickly apparent when a Russian speaker pronounces the aw sound, which appears in words such as wall, cost, and broad. The sound is correctly produced by lowering the soft palate and focusing the energy of the stressed syllable into the jaw and lower lip. Soft, fall, saw, small, call, water, coffee, along. You were an awfully good guest, Paul. I've never been out of the city for longer than 8 days. It still shocked me, no matter how often I saw them kissing. The pill wasn't strong enough to knock me out. The airport was like a mall-sized version of Red Square. It took a long time for my bag to come off the carousel. I fought to stay awake. Always carry your portfolio with you when at a convention. We're not trying to be all things to all people. The author's passion inspired his book. Most women wince at his housekeeping and don't stay long. I thought Claudia was talking to me. The strangeness exhilarated me and also frightened me a little. The jerk. There is a category of R endings that sound exactly the same, yet are written with an astonishing variety of letters. For this reason, this irregular R ending has earned an obnoxious nickname, the jerk. Consider the following words, and take in the fact that Americans pronounce them all turn, perfect, birth, word, earned. Russians tend to open up this R ending to sound like air, which confuses the American ear. The key to mastering this irregularity is to pinpoint one of these words that the speaker already pronounces correctly, and then have the speaker learn to match the other jerk sounds to the one that is already correctly pronounced. The girls showed up overdressed. I have no words. My heart has been hurting over it. He asked the visitor to grab a shirt. It was the most stressful thing in the world. Bell and Adams worked with Russell on The Fighter. I watched that movie late night on my birthday. He turned on the radio and pushed the scan button. Whatever you're having will be perfect. Notice how the spelling of the following words is inconsistent, yet all are pronounced with the same sound. Girls, words, hurting, perfect, earned. Americans pronounce these jerk endings the exact same way, as should the Russian when speaking American English. Mastering the jerk is important because the Russian generally mispronounces it to such a degree that the American is left struggling to divine a word's meaning. So it's not and, it's earned. Not purple, but purple. Not verb, but verb. The film earned roughly $300 million. Purple is the best alternative color. The verb was open to interpretation. The short A. Russians have a way with words. and a rather creative method of running vowels across the roof of the mouth. This works fine in Russian, but produces the weird effect of turning the short A, as in bad, into an entirely different vowel, the short E, as in bid. Some Russians swing the A in another direction, slapping the Union Jack on it and pronouncing it like a short O, as in body. The key to producing an American short A is to lower the soft palate, keeping the sound out of the nose. Magic. Personality. Stack. Albums. Laughing. Ashtray. I spent a lot of time traveling in the back seat of that old Buick. Can I ask Albert something? The two of us sat there and listened. The crash sounded like something had been knocked over. Caffeine makes a terrible bedtime snack. That hasn't been my greatest problem. I have a true attitude of gratitude. That was an accident. Jack is telling Catherine not to look back or feel sad about things. The ow sound. This vowel begins with a short A, as in cat, then picks up an sound. It appears in many words with ow spellings such as out, ow spellings as in down. Because many Russians learned to speak English from British instructors, there's a tendency to begin this sound with a short O, which gives the vowel combination a rather old-fashioned European flavor. So cow becomes call. The American version leads with a short A. Now. Without. Crowd. South. Tower. Howl. Outside. She was questioned about the encounter. I'll look back at this a year from now, and it will just be a blip on my radar. Success comes down to knowing your customers. She was such a clean freak that she must have come out of the womb with a can of Lysol in one hand and a rag in the other. I could still hear my father shouting about the downstairs bedroom. He returned hours later and pretended nothing had happened. I found myself biting back a gasp of relief. The clouds made a thundering sound. The clown hurried out of the room. Now look what you made us do. I'll go see what this is about. The plan was sound. Which part did you get the most enjoyment out of? My mother understood how to handle my dad's anger. The sidewalks glistened on the downtown streets.